One of the interesting things about being a sociologist is that the more you look, the more you recognize that variables really are everywhere. Consider this bookcase. It contains books, and these books themselves contain variables, variables that you can see now. Some of them are immediately apparent. There's a thickness to some books. Some books are thin. Other books are short. Other books are tall. Width, height. Two variables. Color. Blue books. Red books. We have subject matter. If we open a book, Charles Dickens, fiction. James Herriot, memoir. So, these are attributes of individual books. These are variables describing individual books. We would say that the case of study in this situation is the individual book. We might, however, move beyond the individual and think about a case as a set of groupings. So we might treat an entire shelf as one case, and we might say that there are attributes that an individual shelf has. Those attributes, if they vary, are variables, and we can observe them. So for any shelf, I can obtain an attribute, and if it varies, it's a variable called count, the number of books on a shelf. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Another shelf will have another number of books, and that is the attribute of a shelf. We can move beyond this and not just talk about group. We can talk about relations between individuals. So this red book here and this black book here have a variable that describes the attribute of their relation, and that is the distance between them. The distance is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 intervening books. So, just as we can think about books as having variables, just as we can think about groups of books as having variables, and just as we can think about pairs of books as having relational variables, so we can think about individual people having variables. We can think about the relationships between individual people as having variables, and we can think about the groups of people as having variables. These are three kinds of social objects in sociology, and much as in the case of books, we can measure what people, what relations, and what groups do. The only complication is that, unlike books, people tend to move around.